Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Joe Show. I'm your host, Joseph Decker. I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of an intro to this. I checked on our Facebook and our Twitter, and it looked to run perfectly. That's a little bit of the sneak peek for the hype video that Coach Gilbert has made for the boys here at Greene County. We're going to take that off for a second. We're going to get all of our things up now. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the show already. We have a good amount of people hopping in here, just being on here a minute. So thank you, everybody. We got it up on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for everybody. Go ahead and share that. Let everybody enjoy it. Watch the show. Without further ado, let's kind of get into our sponsors a little bit. All of our sponsors today are based out of Edmonson County, besides two, which is Vet City Barbershop and Shane Doyle in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Tent Studios in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's my guy, Henry Menendez. More information about all of our sponsors is present on our social media, especially on Facebook. I also want to shout out Patton Funeral Home, located in Brownsville, Kentucky. They also have locations in Cave City, Park City, things of that nature. I want to give a big shout out to Stacy's on Main for sponsoring. She is a clothing boutique in Kouyate, Kentucky. Thank you for the sponsor. And then Creekside Nursery in Kouyate, Kentucky, southern Edmonson County, northern Warren County. So that's kind of our sponsor areas right now. I want to let everybody know if you're interested in sponsoring the Joe Show, come on. We'd love to have you. We can have as many sponsors as we want. We'd like to get them statewide. We've had some from Louisville, Pikeville, Paducah, all over. So we'd love to have more sponsors. A little bit of an apology. We had the Butler High School basketball event. I think I came away with a little bit of a cold, so I'm going to do my best and hold my own here. But sorry if I take a break for a second talking. But a lot of today's episode is going to be highlighted by our guests. We have some great ones. I'm going to get Coach Gilbert from Greene County in here in just a second to talk. I want to give everybody the opportunity to speak in our chat. We have that present at the bottom, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Leave a comment. We can pop that up on the screen. We can ask the players about it. You can ask me a question. You can say something and say, don't ask out loud, but ask this question, something like that. Just leave a comment, a question, what you guys would like us to ask the players and the coaches, and we'll get right into it. But without further ado, I'm going to welcome on Coach Gilbert onto the show really quick. This is Greene County's first time hopping on the Joe Show, and you guys are already showing out in the community hopping on the show. So let's get things going. Coach Gilbert, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having us. We're excited about it. Thanks for showcasing the athletes throughout the state and specifically us here at Greene County in our program. We really appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, man. The first time I watched Greene County, I got to catch one of your all's games last year. And it was before I was doing a lot of the sports media stuff, and I loved your energy on the coaching staff, and I liked how everybody got hyped and got up a little bit, and I think the players were great. Hayden Blakeman, Jayden Marr were two guys who really caught my attention. But that was just a fun team to watch last year. Now you guys are just as fun, and I got to watch you all this weekend, and it was awesome. I named you all the best team at the Butler traditional event. Eric James was my MVP. Eric had a huge game, but everybody on that roster just played so well. There's some guys that won't be on the show tonight that played amazing, and we're going to highlight them and talk about them, highlight some of the other guys on the coaching staff. They've been showing some love on social media. But, Coach, I want you to talk about our four players we're going to have on the show tonight. What makes these guys so special? Kind of give them a little introduction before we get too far into things.
The first two I'm going to introduce here, they were sophomores when I came in here to Greene County, and one of the intriguing things was looking in. And that first year I was here, I started four sophomores, so you're usually in a situation to where you're either old and experienced or young and talented. I feel like we were both. So these two guys have been with me this is year 3 now. Number 24, senior Hayden Blakeman, and number 12, senior Jayden Marr. They're really starting to take steps within the program. And we've kind of talked over time being a player-led program. And both of them for this year has been speaking up, being a lot more vocal in practice, coaching the teammates. So it's not all coming from me anymore. It's coming from our, senior leadership, which is huge for our program here. And the other two guys are very explosive, very athletic. Junior Moody Kouyate will be number 4 for us, and junior Eric James Jr. number 5 for us. Brought a different dynamic to our program from an offensive and defensive perspective. So we're able to do a whole lot more. I feel like we're extremely versatile now with these two guys in their uniform for us. So we're really excited about all 4 of these guys. And I think you had kind of mentioned we've got some guys that aren't on the show tonight that are going to make an extreme impact for our program as well. One of those is senior Tanner Willis. Another one is freshman Cooper Stone, who has seemed to be coming into his own. And then Deacon James, as a sophomore, is kind of looking into to taking another role for us as well this year as a backup guard. And a lot of things to be excited about right now within this program.
Oh, yeah. It's a loaded, fun roster. I love the coaching staff, the energy you all bring. Speaking of Cooper Stone, he's a 2028 kid that's getting a lot more recognition recently, for the way that he played this weekend. Tanner Deacon also getting that love and respect. So it's going to be a fun season for Greene County. We're about a week away from the start of the season, but we still got a lot to talk about before we get there. We're going to try to cover a lot of it in this episode. I'm going to try to give these guys some good questions. Once again, use our chat to ask questions. If there's something I don't hit on, you guys would love to hit on. But we're going to offer we're going to open up and we're going to get Hayden Blakeman and Jayden Marr in here, and then we're going to add Moody and Eric James. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Appreciate you having us.
What's up? How you doing? For having us.
Of course, man. I talked to Moody before the show started, told him he couldn't laugh too much, so we're going to hope he stays composed there in the bottom right. But I want to talk to Hayden and Jayden to start things off. Hayden, Jayden, you guys are the seniors of this team. You guys are kind of the leaders, and you guys have such a good, talented roster, a great coaching staff around you all. You guys are so urging to watch. Everybody wants to see Greene County play. A lot of people got to this weekend for the first time. It was my first time watching the new squad. Tell us about this Greene County team as a player. Hit on some of those guys that Coach talked about. Hit on Moody and Eric and kind of compliment each other and what makes this team so special.
Well, we've been here for 5 years. We did COVID year, so this is our third year under Coach Gilbert, and we just love how Coach Gilbert play style he runs, and I think we have a really exciting team, and I think we'll be really good this year.
Yeah, and I think when we add Moody and Eric, it's just so much faster. Eric is a explosive player, so is Moody, and Moody adds that height. You can just throw it in there to him, and it's easier.
Moody, Eric, I have to get you all on here. Kind of talk to you guys a little bit. This will be y'all's first season with Greene County this year. Tell me about this team. Coming onto this roster. Tell me about these two seniors you have right here. Talk about them. Talk about the community. Talk about Coach a little bit. I know you guys want to hype him up a little bit, but just talk about the Greene County atmosphere and the team as a whole.
Y'all be nice to me now.
I got you. The community is a great community. They show a lot of love and support. Practice with Hayden and JJ, senior leaders, and Tanner also. Just great leaders. Make sure we keep our heads up and when stuff go wrong and everything like that. Just leading the team well. And Coach Gilbert, Coach Montreal, all the coaches, Coach Eric, Coach Mark, everybody, just coaching us hard, pushing us past our limits, and making sure we do everything right, and just keeping everything in place. Good, man.
For me, I definitely love all the coaches. Every day I come in practice, they're always like cracking jokes. It's always good with them. JJ and Hayden. I know Hayden's a great shooter. JJ, his pull up game is his pull up game get bad. It be getting bad sometimes when he get hot, especially in practice. He pretty good on that pull up. But yeah.
Coach, tell me how the practice is with these guys. These guys are energetic. They like to cut up, laugh a little bit. Sometimes you get in those moments where you have to be serious. With you being a younger coach too, how are you able to lead this team and guide this team and be a mentor to them at the same time?
The good part about kind of my experience as an assistant coach, the last three guys I've worked for all have a state championship under their belt, whether it's the Sweet 16 or the 2A. Coach Kirk there at Mason gave me a very long leash as an assistant. I feel like he really appreciated what I had to say as an assistant, really kind of took my advice on certain things and allowed me to go with it. He's got a 2A championship. Allen Fieldhouse Jr., the guy speaks for himself. If you can't learn anything while you're working under him, it's your own fault. So there's another state champion. Then the third guy that a lot of people don't realize, I worked for Josh Cook for 2 summers. He's also got a state championship here within the last 5 years. So using the experience I've got from those 3 guys has been a huge help. I've even made some phone calls right in the middle of the season. I've made some preseason this year. Here's kind of our situation. How can I manage the situation? How can I make sure we're continuing to improve? Practice right now is extremely competitive. We've got a group of young guys that they're used to winning as well. So the good thing is they come in and they're pushing us and they're hungry to get better. And they're making everybody better. So they're making me coach in practice. You might look up on the board and we're down 8-0 in the first 2 minutes and we really got to start turning it on. A good reason for that is because of the guys we've added on staff as far as Montreal Ogren and Coach T, Tony Tong there from Taylor County hopped over here with us. And, the other guys, Coach Z has been very supportive. very positive in practice. Coach Eric Edwards is great behind the scenes. Coach Graham has been here with me for 3 years now. So, having those guys on staff that are now understanding in what we got going on, it's been very easy for me to divvy up practice and split up on multiple goals and kind of know things are going to get done the way they're supposed to. So it's a blessing what we've got in the gym right now, both from an athlete standpoint and a coach standpoint. And I think the direction of our program right now is showing for it.
Yeah, I'll ask you this. I'll kind of talk to the players on this too. You guys have a lot of, hype built up around the program right now. A lot of people are considering you all the favorites of the 5th region. And I know as coaches, players, a lot of times you don't worry about rankings. You don't worry about lists early in the season. That don't matter. You're just building yourself up until February, March, January, later in the season. But how have you guys been able to kind of, you have all that hype around you, kind of have a chip on your shoulder in a sense, so many people putting you in these conversations with these top teams in the state, listing you at number 1 in such a stacked region. How have you been able to just focus on the game and focus on getting better daily instead of just getting lost in the rankings and the talk around the state?
Right now, I think we're just worried about ourselves. And I know that's kind of cliche to say, but, within our 2 scrimmages alone, last Tuesday against Lincoln County, we probably won that game just off pure talent. Wasn't real sharp and real clean, but the strides we made from Tuesday to Saturday against Eastern were massive. And it's still not perfect. And we've preached to our kids, we're not looking for perfection right now. We're looking for progress. So that's one way. The other way, for me personally, I've won 0 district titles and I've won 0 region games since I've been here at Greene County. So for me as a coach, I'm still a hunter. I don't feel like we're the hunted right now. To me, obviously, Adair winning the region last year, I think they're still the hunted, and I think that's true throughout the entire region. And then, within our own district, I think it's LaRue. I think LaRue is the hunted right now. So me still kind of feeling that way within myself and the coaching staff itself. I think we've been able to push our kids each and every day for that progress instead of perfection. And I think over time that'll pay off. Obviously, I think we've got the firepower to possibly make a run and sneak up and be good, but we've still got a long way to go before we're actually there.
Of course, Coach. I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm going to go to Hayden and Jayden here. We're going to recap these scrimmages recently. I wasn't able to catch the Lincoln game, but I'll have these 2 guys tell me all about it. What were some things you all did in that first scrimmage that impressed you all and, kind of got you all excited? Coach says you all played better this weekend, but go back to that first scrimmage and tell me how it went, Hayden.
I think our first scrimmage, it went okay. It wasn't our best game, but we just had a huge growth from the first to the second. Just we figured out how to play better together, and our chemistry was better, and our defense was a lot better. I feel like defense, yeah.
What Hayden was saying, our chemistry was a lot better from the first game to the second game, and I just think we get it out quicker with Eric and Moody along with us. They can run too, and it's just I think we're a lot faster with them on the court.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think kind of watching these games this weekend, and it could have been like that against Lincoln. Like I said, I wasn't able to catch it. But this weekend, there was a lot of talk. You guys were really conversating around. You guys were getting things working. Plays looked to run really sharp and smooth. You guys were making the right switches, plays on defense. So I'll go to Eric and Moody here for this one, guys. We'll start with Moody. What's some things you all did, this weekend at the scrimmage that you think was better than the first scrimmage? How did you guys – what was the jump that you really noticed?
Communicating on D-Moore. Attacking the glass, boxing out, all the little stuff pretty much, rebounding, making an extra pass, and just getting into our sets and running everything correctly. That's about it.
For me, I feel like making the extra pass, I did feel like everybody was swinging the ball a little bit more. That's how we're able to start. That's how we were able to really start making a run on the team. So yeah, once we got the ball moving, everything, everybody started getting touches. And the team was just good.
Well, Eric, I think you really excelled on kind of running the transition. You guys really got out fast, running the floor, getting to the lane, getting up there. What do you think was the reason that you had such a good game, Eric? Everybody's talking about these stats, the way you played. What kind of led to that?
Coming into the game, there was people were throwing shots at me saying there was Prep Hoops report on me saying I couldn't shoot. I took that to heart. Took that to heart. So I had to come out there and show them what I could do.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
Yeah, I was gonna say I watched the same game as everybody else, and I seen you hit 3 to 4 threes out there. So I think you're doing a good job at proving them wrong so far, Coach. I'll ask you this. What was the things that you were most excited that you've seen out of your team this weekend? What was the kind of the biggest positive things you got from the game?
Kind of going back to the Lincoln County game, it was our first opportunity to go against somebody in a different color jersey. I think there was a lot of nerves and hesitation there with us. Jumping forward to the Eastern game, I feel like that wasn't there. I feel like our guys kind of have bought into what we've got going on, and we're ready to jump the gun and get going. So one thing I noticed for sure, and this is purely stats for everybody that's an analytical coach out there. The first game against Lincoln, I think we had 11 assists and 14 turnovers. Looking at Eastern, which Eastern I thought pressured us a little bit more. I think we had 17 assists and maybe 8 turnovers. So to see that, tells us that the things we did the week before, leading up in between Lincoln and Eastern, were beneficial and showed progress with that. Another thing I really liked is the energy and the sense of urgency that we showed in the entire game. Really, we had a lapse there in the first quarter. We scored 22 points in the first 7 minutes of a running clock, which is who we need to be, and that's who we want to be. But then we kind of turned the brakes off and allowed them back in the game. But from that point forward, the sense of urgency and the excitement and the environment that we created just within our guys and ourselves, I was really happy about that, really pleased with that.
Yeah, you guys looked like a complete different ball team at times in the second half. The first half it was really even, and then in the second half you guys really pulled away. In that first half, Cash Whitehead for Eastern was really just on fire, having his way, finding his way in the post, knocking down jump shots. How were you able to kind of silence him and slow him down in the second half a little bit, make them have to use other guys, to kind of put up points on the board?
I think one of the things Saturday against Cash Whitehead, Cooper Stone did a phenomenal job with ball pressure. And I think over time, over that 40-minute span, I think Eric might have switched on him a couple times. Jayden switched on him a couple times. So we were able to throw multiple guys at him. Last year we had great teams and we had great players, but kind of individualized in their specifics and what their strengths were. This year I feel like we've got multiple guys that can play up and down, press you, stay in front of the ball at arm length pressure. Over time, especially a young guy like Cash Whitehead, that's going to wear you down. Cash was a great player. I think he still ended up with 20 points, 3 or 4 assists, 6 or 7 rebounds. So those guys over time, if you can wear on them and kind of outlast them through 40 minutes, it's always positive for your team.
Yeah, I want to transition a little bit, guys. We've talked about you all being one of the favorites in the 5th region, some calling you all the favorite. I want the players to speak on this first. We'll go to Hayden and Jayden. The 5th region is loaded this year. We can talk about a team like Caverna with Jalen Crane, LaRue, who's really stacked. They had Lucas Thompson onto that team that already had Jagger Martis, Taylor County with Davier White, Big B, Brighton. Hart County will always be competitors. There's a lot of teams in that 5th region that a lot of people say could win. Make runs. Hayden and Jayden, you guys have played through the 5th region for a while now, got to experience the tough nose of it. Speak on it this season and, just how strong it is.
I think this season it's definitely one of the best regions in the state for sure. But obviously us and Caverna and LaRue and Adair and Taylor, they're all really solid teams. And it'll be a really competitive region, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the toughest since me and Hayden's been in high school. And I think our district is maybe the hardest to get out of with us, LaRue and Caverna, all top 5 in most rankings.
Yeah. Hit on that a little bit. I looked at the district games last season, and I don't think I read it wrong. You guys went out first round is what it showed on there, if that's correct. Is there a little bit of, are you guys still upset about that loss? I know going out early, is a painful thing, especially when you're getting closer and closer to being out of high school, So tell us just about how tough that district is, how you guys plan to get out of it this year. I'll let Hayden and Jayden answer this one.
Yeah, last year it was definitely tough, losing first round, especially when we thought we were the better team. But we just underperformed, I feel like, and I think this year we just have a chip on our shoulder and we got to come back stronger.
Yeah, during that regular season, we got the first seed, and it just didn't matter. Seeds don't matter once you get to the postseason, and we slipped up and they beat us.
Moody, Eric, let's get to you all a little bit here. This 5th region, you hear about it all the time, the studs it's lined up with. You got a guy like Isaiah Cochran, Connor Loy over there at Adair County. You had the Hardin County teams. It's always great coached, always there. You got a guy like Jalen Crane for Caverna, whose name has really been all over the internet recently for his performances. How are you guys ready to compete in this tough 5th region?
I heard a lot about the 5th region. I heard it's really competitive, but I don't really know too much about it, but I'm just ready to get to it, work and compete, and not back down for nobody.
Yeah, for me, I don't really know much about him either. I'm just here just to give 100% on the court and wherever the cards drop, you know.
Yeah. Well, Jayden and Eric, it's going to be a lot of fun watching you two especially play because the guard play in this fifth region is amazing. So it's going to be fun watching you all kind of go at each other all year. You know, there's some tough forwards and bigs, but the guard play is really on another level. I'll talk to Coach, you know, a little bit about it. The fifth region's loaded. It's got some amazing coaches. You know, we talked about Coach Breeze, Coach Miles at Caverna. You know, there's more I'm not hitting on. Coach Johnson up there at Central Hardin. You know, it's a filled region with a lot of great coaches, you know, and then great talent. So how are you ready to, you know, compete against it? You know, you have these high rankings, like we've done said, we put them to the side. You just look at it from a team matchup perspective. How are you ready to go up against these teams?
Definitely with kind of the performance we had in the postseason last year. That's always going to fuel your fire a little bit. But, you know, that loss to Hart County last year is just a testament to two things: our district and the region, kind of in the same way. You know, you can be ranked 2, 3, and you can have somebody come in 10, 11 that's ranked in the region. If you have a bad night and, you know, you have an off night, don't take it serious, you're going to come out with a loss. And, you know, kind of like Jayden said, our district right now, we've got 3 teams that seems every ranking comes out that's in the top 3. So it's going to be a dogfight for, you know, 6 games in the district. And then just to get out of the district is going to be a dogfight. So, no, that's one of the reasons why we're trying to focus on us. We're not really worried at this time, you know, who the opponent is or what it is on paper. We want to nail down our standard and play to it no matter what. So that's our focus right now moving forward.
Yeah, I think we got to hit on the schedule a little bit, you know, not just the district and the region games. Those are great too, but let's talk about the schedule as a whole. I know you guys had the Tip-Off Classic, the Carl Deaton Classic. You know, just tell me about some of these top games, the home opener. You know, tell me about the schedule when fans can come out and see you all play.
Our obviously the first week of the season is always big. That Tuesday we'll open up with Barron County at home. Thursday we'll go on the road to Logan County, and then Saturday we'll play in the Tip-Off Classic at Campbellsville against Louisville Doss. That second week of the season for us is probably our 2 highlighted games before Christmas time. You know, we'll play Caverna on December 13th at home, and then we'll follow up right after that in our Carl Deaton Class against Louisville Butler. So that'll be back-to-back nights that really puts in perspective who we are and who we can be. You know, outside of that, I think the third week you might have, I think at Campbellsville. I think there's a game with Marion County in there. And then you move into the Lexington Catholic tournament over Christmas, which is always a doozy. So we're really excited about that. It's the first time we've ever been invited to it. So there was no way I was going to tell Coach Salzman and Lexington Catholic no. The opportunity to get our kids up there in front of college coaches and an experience like that is huge for who we are right now.
Of course, Coach, when you go into scheduling, you know, all kind of coaches, you know, kind of have a different take on it. But a lot of them seem to agree is that you're playing these tough games earlier in the season to prepare yourself for the postseason and district play. You know, going in, making this schedule, things like that. You got some tough, well-rounded, hard-nosed teams, great on the defensive end. What kind of, you know, made you pick these teams when going into scheduling?
My first kind of thought when I came here to Greene County, I feel like I might have overscheduled a little bit in year 1 and year 2, but there was a reason behind that. There was a strategy and a purpose behind that. You know, I probably could have played multiple teams that were sub 500 and won 20 to 24 games both years, but that's not who I want to be as a coach. Don't want to duck nobody. I mean, I'm not probably going to drive all the way to Ashland and play a week game or all the way down there to Callaway and play a Friday night game or anything like that. But if it's within reason and we can make it work and we're going to play you, if I feel like it's going to make our kids and our program better, that's what we're going to do. And obviously here in year 3, I'm really kind of banking on that paying off the experiences we've had the last 2 years within our program and the schedule.
Coach, I ask you this, you're a younger coach. You know, a lot of times you kind of mentioned some of the guys that you had coached under, you know, to start the show. We talked about those guys, but, you know, being a young coach, a lot of these guys have inspirations, you know, some influences who's really impacted the way they run their schemes, the way they run their offense. Who has kind of been some of the influences that has kind of crafted you into the coach you are today?
Offensively, I definitely say Josh Cook has a hand in that. You know, while I was at Mason, he's winning championships at GRC. So not only am I kind of studying what he's got going on, but I'm scouting it multiple times a year as well. He's somebody that's always had, you know, firepower on offense. And I really wanted to look at that, how to balance between running X and O's and manufacturing buckets or, you know, allowing our kids to play. So that's definitely somebody within the offensive side. Defensively, you know, Coach Kirk and Coach Feldhouse are 2 defensive coaches. So I've tried to take some of those concepts and build it in here. I think we've got a team this year, compared to last year, we kind of had to pick and choose when we got up and down. This year, I think we've got an opportunity to be good at both. And I think we can play in a half court and use our length, or I think we can speed you up and use our athleticism. So definitely those past experiences are going to help. I turned 32 here in December, and your kind of statement is true. I'm still a younger coach in regards of what I'm going to do in my career and how long I'm going to coach. But at the same time, I got to thinking about it to the gym. This is my 10th year within a high school program. It'll be my third year within a head coaching role. I had 2 years as the associate head coach there at Mason County under Coach Kirk. I feel like the point I'm at in my career now, I feel like I'm prepared for the team that we've got and the schedule we've got. So that makes me a lot more confident moving into the season than previous years.
I want to get back to the players here in just a second, especially Hayden, Jayden. We're going to talk about some offers and things that all these guys hold. Talk about, how colleges are talking to them right now, because that's a big thing people wanted to hear about. So we'll get into that. Hayden and Jayden, we'll start with you all first. Talk to me about the college looks you all are receiving now. I know some of you guys have offers right now already. It's your senior season, so tell me about those schools that have reached out, offered, maybe some that's in contact.
Yes, sir. I've heard from Lindsay and Kentucky Christian and Asbury and Center and Bethel in Tennessee.
Yeah, I've heard from CU Harrisburg, Asbury, Center, and yeah, that's about it.
Those are both good schools. Actually, at Campbellsville Harrisburg recently, I want to say a prayer for Coach Sparrow and the guys that were involved. They just got in a little bit of an accident the other night. I know Coach had to have surgery and things of that nature, so I want to say a prayer for them. But multiple great schools, I have some ties in with Asbury, has a few friends who play there right now, so both tremendous schools. I'll ask Coach a question about that here in a second, but I'll let Moody and I'll let Eric talk about their offers, kind of schools they're hearing from. They're both younger guys, but their recruitment's really starting to heat up a little bit too, so we'll talk to them.
During the AU season, we heard from Lehigh a couple times, and ever since we came down here, we had a couple coaches coming to the gym, Lindsay, Union, and Campbellsville and everything. So, we're just getting started. It's going to be a lot more season start, and hope to pick some of that up.
Yeah, I know Lehigh. Like Moody said, they were looking at us. I know that Union coach. He said he was impressed with our performance in practice. So we're definitely gonna keep playing, trying to get more offers, and as we go into the season. So yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you this. We talk about the college looks these guys have. I know it's always a bonus to be able to coach kids that's, playing at the collegiate level in the future, have the potential to. So how's it been to be able to coach these guys knowing colleges are interested in them too?
It's kind of kept us on our A game as a coaching staff. Obviously, when these guys that are at the collegiate level come in, you don't want to come in and look like a mess and look like you're unorganized in a way. But at the same time, you want to showcase our kids. And I'm just thankful that we've got a group of guys that's working for our kids to help get coaches in here. I think we've had 3 or 4 in so far, and we've got multiple others that are trying to fit us into their schedule. From a talent level and caliber athlete level, this is probably one of the most talented and athletic and explosive teams I've had and I've been a part of. I feel like we've got multiple guys, and that's not just the ones that will be the starting 5 or the first ones on the floor. I think we've got guys that can come off the bench and probably get you 15 or 20 as well. So right now it's kind of been a puzzle for me of, when do I need to manufacture a bucket and when do I need to let them be them? And I'll be honest, a lot of the times right now I'm leaning towards let them be them because, it makes me look good as a coach. Hey, throw it to this guy and let's drive, cut, and get out of the way and make something happen. So it's been good. One thing that we've worked on in practice, the previous 2 years, I kind of felt like I wanted to keep things clean in practice with some drills and, the speed of things. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes, this for 4. And this year's been a whole lot. Let's line up and go at each other because the competition level is there. So it's been a joy going to practice so far with these guys, and I don't see that changing throughout the season.
Coach, I've had you on here for about 30 minutes. I want to thank you all for hopping on. I'll end you off with a question here. I'll let you guys all get an opportunity to speak again. Thank y'all for coming on. But I want to ask Coach this. You're just 32 years old. You're about to be. You said you've kind of been in this for 10 years now. There's a lot of people who coach high school basketball who I feel like is kind of just put into the role because of the job they work in. or, being in the school system or something like that. But there's still a lot of, high school coaches out there in Kentucky, especially, that genuinely do have a passion to coach high school basketball, watch these kids succeed. Why should some of these people, growing up, there's kids growing up right now, there might be some really smart people out there now that could come into high school basketball in Kentucky and make an immediate impact on these kids' lives and things. So, why should more people look into coaching, high school sports?
Well, the biggest thing for me growing up is I had some coaches, and not necessarily basketball coaches, but my football coaches and baseball coaches growing up that made a huge impact in my life. I got a guy specifically that I can think of off the top of my head. His name's Chris Olery. He's the assistant principal there in Mason County, and he coached me in football. Turns out to be one of my best friends, so he's got a lifelong impact on me. And when I first got into coaching, it was more of let's continue this playing career and try to feel like I'm still being useful in an athletic sense. But as things have went on, you learn things over time. And, I've had multiple kids that have come into programs I've been a part of that might not even have a home to go to, might have some issues, from other areas and staying elsewhere that, really need a little bit of extra love. And, the idea of those guys being able to go on into a career and be successful and go to college has been a huge hit. So, that's what I want for all these guys within our program. Yeah, basketball is great, but if we can make them better men and better humans outside of high school, that's the lifelong goal in coaching.
Of course, Coach. I think that's a beautiful way to answer that. Guys, I want to thank you all for coming on tonight and sharing some time. I didn't want to hold you all too long. We didn't make Moody laugh too much, so I think we did pretty good on our end. I'm going to let Hayden and Jayden speak a little bit before we get off here, maybe add on anything they like to, and then I'll give the floor to Eric and Moody, and we'll get off here.
I don't really have anything else, but I really appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, I don't either, but thank you for inviting us on the show, and we really enjoyed it.
Of course, man. Hopefully to have you on again soon. I know Coach kind of mentioned January. There's going to be a whole different kind of perspective. You guys are really going to be getting into that reach and district play. So I'll be down at some games trying to get you all back on. We'll let Eric and Moody say a few things before we hop off here.
I appreciate you for having us. Just want to shout out the Greene County community and coaches and all my teammates. I'm just looking forward to putting on a good show for everybody and ready to work.
Don't really got nothing to say. I'm just here. I'm ready for the season to start. I'm ready for the first game. That's it.
And, Coach, I'll let you have the floor to finish this off. Kind of tell us about that first game coming up and why people should come out and watch Greene County this year.
Man, our home opener and season opener is December 3rd against Barron County. It's going to be a whiteout, and from what I'm hearing, get to the gym early because we're expecting a crowd. Now, the time between now and December 3rd is going to be a lot of nights not being able to sleep because I'm fired up just as much as everybody else is. So, we've definitely got a group of kids that are worth coming out and supporting. They're worked hard. Not only are they great basketball players, but they're great kids and great humans as well. And a lot of that is a tribute to who they are as a person and their character and their family's character as well. So it's not like you're supporting kids that are punks with bad grades. I mean, you're going to come out and you're going to see a really good group of kids on the floor. The one thing we're really trying to do is put a product on the floor that everybody's excited to see. And I feel like we're making progress in that. And, we'll see. We're excited about this season. Kind of the goals that we've got in place. We're going to go step by step, but we're going to try to check some boxes off as the season goes on. But by the time March rolls around in late February, we're really looking to be right there in the mix of winning the thing, and that's the big goal for the season.
Well, all five of you all, Jayden, Hayden, Moody, Eric, Coach Gilbert, thank you all for hopping on tonight. I had a lot of fun getting to have you all on here. I'm going to do my absolute best to make that Tuesday game against Barron County. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I know a lot of the community's in here watching, and they'll be there. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Joe Show tonight and watching our show with Greene County